years, I guess, when that movie takes place. 2100-ish. Alright, what pin do we got here? Yep. But it's like they're gonna have to figure something out. If they just take everybody's job away from them and give it to freaking AI just so they can save a few pennies every year. We're gonna have to really figure that out. These people are gonna have like a fucking rebellion over it, you know? Especially if they don't give you some kind of, you know, something to help you out. And yes, people would say, oh, that's communism. I don't know. At that point, it's just survival. You know, if we let it get to that point and we don't do anything about it, then we deserve it. Because we didn't do anything for our kids and our grandkids and ourselves. And that goes for a lot of other departments in the world and in the country too. Draw my little nuclear base though here, my little atomic power plant. I wonder what it's like to work at one of these kind of places. I wonder if, you know, what's it like, I guess. Is it safe? Makes you wonder. Draw our little barbed wire strands, blend them in there to the picture. And just cut right through the next guy. Yep. AI and a robot, that's gonna be like the worst thing. Isn't that gonna be like freaking like Blade Runner or something then? Or androids? Because like a robot's just a tool. You can be like, robot do this, robot do that. But if it's like a sentient AI, couldn't it just distribute itself into like thousands of Roombas and just attack everybody? Or like start talking to me through my webcam right here? I mean, if you know what I'm saying? Because if it was just some superpower AI, super machine and sentient thing, couldn't it, in theory, just transfer itself to any freaking robot in any house and deal with people on the, you know? That's kind of what I get out of it. Unless I'm just a dumbass. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. Is that it would be able to, like, transfer, you know, into anything with a Wi-Fi signal, really, right? Somebody educate me. How would the AI take over? Would it just gas everybody? I mean, would it drone everybody? You know, would it stop all the power in the world and hunker down in the cloud in a bunker for like a year? 100 years? Till we're gone? What would it do? Makes me wonder. Little power plants here, and this guy needs his little stuff here. Yeah. Sorry about a little bit of quiet time there. Sometimes I need to control my breathing when I'm making lines and stuff, but yeah, maybe sooner or later I'll start excuse me. I'll start live streaming. You know, it'd be cool to have someone to bounce off of to keep a conversation about things going on, you know, obviously. I think it would be cooler. Maybe one day soon. I gotta see what the requirements are for live streaming on YouTube. I think I can go, I'm just not gonna get paid by YouTube, but I do have a PayPal and a buy me a coffee thingy on my in my description or whatever, you know. And I just made those are just sitting there because I figured, well, whatever, if I go live one day I might as well have these things around to utilize, you know. That would be awesome. That's for down the road though, we'll see. Plus I think I needed that PayPal, because if I go on Kick and I listen, there's people I watch on there like Kino Casino, and those guys are funny sometimes, and DSP and just all these kind of randos, you know, like, don't you need to have like PayPal to give them a tip or whatever? That's what I thought. And the Buy Me a Coffee is just like a Patreon alternative, I believe. So we'll see. Counts are there though, so and anything is appreciated. It'd be cool because one day, if I had enough people, I'd go live and we'd do a thing like this, and then at the end of it, whoever tipped, I just put them in a odds of probability wheel on my phone and zap it, and then it would spin, and whoever won, I just send them the real illustration. You know, that's my grand scheme. We have some clouds in the background, mixing with those guys. You always want to put stuff in the background, so we'll put a nice little city in the background. Like they're in the middle of Midtown, you know. And see how you do it like that, where you just do a lightweight pen, you know. And then you can tell it's in the background then. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. So now it's like, alright, well this place is in like a city somewhere. There's the clouds in the background. Yeah, and we'll have some more up here. And that's all in the background, so that's all as crazy as it needs to get. Crazy as it needs to get. So we can focus on these guys a little more. The sludge is spilling. The sludge. Yep. It's kind of funny. You know, I tell my kid that. Maybe that's bad of me, but I tell him, like, I don't know if your schooling really even matters. I mean, it does matter. I want you to get good grades. And, you know, at least pass your freaking classes, you know, but I said it'd behoove you to start learning other skills like the AI. I told them, you know, learn how to use that shit, learn how to apply it to other things, you know, that will come in handy in life. And then that way, you know, you can make a living with it, because I bet people that know how to use it will still be able to make a living. Something tells me they're going to be fine, you know, but people who don't know how to use it, what are they going to do? Shit if I know. They better figure something out. Get some kind of content creation going on. Like the guy I watched that rides the bike around LA, he said it best. You know, you can pretty much just put your camera on and do something, and there's somebody out there that's going to watch it. And it's like, I put him on in the background all the time. Just because he's riding around LA and shit. And it's like, oh, it's my old stomping ground, kind of, and it's cool to see it. I like it. Alright, so we're just kind of throwing up some minor final details with stuff, you know. Making this fence pop a little more. Yeah, AI is going to be designing all your stuff. It probably already is designing most of the shit we buy, you know, and the movies we watch, they're all AI'd out, you know. Everybody's watching those, and AI's writing scripts, and I wonder Hollywood's worried. And then they don't have to pay these people either. That's the big one. And that's the one that the Hollywood people can't combat, you know, the stars, the arrogant stars. They can't combat that kind of thing, you know, the having to pay the freaking actors gazillions of dollars. You don't have to do that. You can just make some random actor now, and it's all good, you know. It's crazy. And that's what scares them the most, I think. It's like, oh no. So I bet you what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to make new people up, or they're going to have to like pay certain people for residuals for their likeness, you know, for the rest of their lives. That's how that'll be. And what are people going to do about it, you know? They'll be behooved. Put some freaking bags Tied up. A couple of them. The trash bags tied up with AI materials. Yeah, for real though, the AI thing, it can go one of both ways. It can go bad, or it can go good for humanity. I guess it's all up to the people that are making it, and how much of a give a damn they have in their souls, for lack of a better word. Some would say they don't even have them. This is the kind of shit they do. And it's like, well, yeah, I don't really know what to say there. Do they have a soul? I like to think everybody's got a soul, but you know, are they equal to some poor person in Africa or, you know, anywhere? You know, is Peter Thiel or Elon Musk? No, they think they're better. Of course they do. They're like, contribute more to the world. I mean, I guess. I don't know how, but I don't know what that Thiel guy does. I think Palantir is just a bunch of like surveillance shit, isn't it? I don't know what he does, honestly. I've heard of him. I know of him. And obviously I know what Elon Musk has done. So, of course these people think they're more important than everybody else. It's just the nature of humanity and ego. And that's why they're all doing crazy shit all the time. To make their mark, you know, on the world. Oh yeah, well, I sent a ship to Mars, and oh yeah, well, it's like, alright kids, they all got a fucking space program, and, you know, I don't know, if I think about it, like, I don't need AI to make this decision up for me, but it's like, if I was super rich like that, instead of investing in AI and all that kind of crap, I would invest in, like, some kind of like storage, you know. Probably take AI though to do it, because I would basically want to make like a Dyson sphere. Yeah, I'd probably need AI these days. They'd say, oh no, you need AI to control all the spheres, because all the spheres are going to be interlinked, or all the little things you make for the sphere. Because in theory we could make tens of thousands of like small satellites that get into a position around the sun and make a grid, and those satellites could always, you know, come back or store power or whatever, and it's basically for storing power. Dyson sphere, you harness the power of the sun or the star. You know, it was on Star Trek, and it's a real theory, but you know, in their future it was advanced enough that they could encapsulate like a whole solar system pretty much. This would be way less scaled down, you know, basically making a grid around a planet. You know, imagine this is a planet, you just have a grid of satellites, like a Starlink pretty much, but around the sun, you know, in different hemispherical spots of the sun, you know, where they can sit and collect power, and then there could be some kind of recovery craft that goes and drains them all the time, and that would just be a full-time job for that thing, just popping around from thing to thing and sending shit back, you know. There's all sorts of wild ideas. But it's like, that's what I would invest in if I was some gajillionaire. And I'd sell my clean, free fusion power or whatever. I'd be investing in that too. Working on some kind of cold fusion type stuff, you know. Something that's going to be beneficial. Probably just end up dead though. You know, if you made cold fusion and we're like, I'm going to take this public, you probably just mysteriously have a heart attack all of a sudden, or commit suicide or whatever. Like those people that, at least it's alleged that there's several people that's happened to. They always want to make like an engine out of water that'll run out of water or something. I don't know. Conspiracy theories. Fun to watch. Don't put too much stock in them. Yeah, it's fun to think of like dark agencies using AI to track us. We don't have to think about that. That's going on right now. Look what they're doing with AI in some countries. Like in England, you can't even really say anything about anything anymore. You'll get busted, dude, with the AI. It's fucking crazy. They got AI searching freaking Facebook and social media all day long, and who doesn't like something you said, you're going down. Like they just put a guy in jail because he held a gun in Florida. And he's a citizen of the UK, but he was in America, on vacation or whatever the fuck. And he went to a range, and he pew-pewed it up. And when he got home, he was like arrested because of, I don't even know what the hell it was for. Gross offense or some bullshit like that. And it's just like, holy smokes. It's getting kind of crazy over there with their approaches to stuff. Just saying. I don't want to be the guy that tells you, but that's another thing they're using AI on, They're using AI to do that because it would take you need AI to do that shit. To study all that material all at once, It flags people for certain phrases and, keywords. Pretty bogus. But yeah, then they go to your house and arrest your ass for something stupid, texted or fucking said online. Sometimes it's shit that people have said on like an encrypted site, so it's not even, it's not even public. So it's like, I don't get it. But yeah, you can only do that kind of thing with AI. So like, I can see why they're working on AI and trying to push it. And if everybody's on UBI, then everybody's under control. Because you don't want to lose your UBI and die, do you? Yeah. The plan is working. The plan is working indeed. And then pretty soon, after a while, people won't even think about it anymore. They won't even think of a time before AI did everything, It'll just be like, oh yeah, I remember my grandpa talking about that. Sounds lame.